So we're seeing if this live is actually on. Because it was on before and then it wasn't working. So I'm waiting to see if some people come in here if this Instagram live is working. It wasn't working before. It said it was working, then it wasn't working. All right, now it looks like it's actually working. All right. So now we finally got this thing working. So it was starting before, then it wasn't starting. It was giving me a couple false starts, so we had to restart the device. But now we back on. So I hope everybody's having a great. Today is Wednesday, May the 17th. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday, May the 17th, June the 17th rather. So now it is time for the live. We do this every single day. For those of y'all who didn't know, it's going to be every day to you as long as you check in on a regular basis. Every day is going to be a different topic. Every day I'm going to give you something for your game, your mental game, your physical game, your business game, whatever game you got going on. I'm going to give you something that's going to help you take your game to the next level, help you take yourself to the next level, if that's where you're trying to go. Now, if you're not trying to go there, you're trying to stay where you at, then it's all good. But if you're trying to go somewhere else, then I'm going to help you out. Hoop Rowdy was good. Mondi 5X, what's going on? Sports Lover 27, Bobo, Mozart Gates, says white man's trying to block our blessing. No, we ain't blaming nobody. We ain't blaming nobody for nothing. We'll blame Instagram, the platform. We ain't gonna blame. We not blaming no blanket groups of people. I know that's the cool thing on social media, but we don't do that here. That's not the game that I play. So y'all can see what the topic is here today, right? Y'all see what that topic is, and this one actually is perfect timing because I just saw something on social media not too long ago that made me think of this topic. And so it's perfect timing for us to talk about this, but it'll relate to, it can relate to a lot of things that we got going on in the world right now. So this is every topic that I talk about actually can relate to what's going on at any time, and is always perfect timing. So for those of y'all who don't know me, actually y'all come in, Facebook, y'all got the like, comment, and share options. So choose one, pick the one you like best. Instagram, you only got the comment option. So go ahead and leave a comment, check in, I'll shout you out, and then I'll answer all questions at the end once I get into the material. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 26 books. Is it 26? Yeah, 26. Working on number 27 right now. I've created over 15,000 pieces of content online. I've done 4 TED Talks. I work as a keynote speaker, coach, consultant. Worked as a trainer. I'm not a personal trainer, but I do some coaching, not basketball coaching, but business coaching, consulting, business consulting as well, product creation, content creation, a whole lot of other things, and I ain't going to list all out here. But anyway, I do all this under the umbrella, this philosophy, this brand, this business that I created called Work on Your Game. That is all about one thing, taking the tools necessary to get to the top 1% of what you do. Which is what you must do if you're going to be successful in sports. You got to be in the top 1% physically, and you got to be in the top 1% mentally. And I teach you how to take that same mentality and apply it to your business, to your life, to whatever you have going on. One of my books is called Work on Your Game. If you didn't know, you can get this at workonyourgamebook.com. I'll tell you more about this at a later time when we get done with this topic. But today's topic, as you can see, is stop whining, bitch. Stop whining, bitch. One thing I know for sure, I'm not going to be able to boost this or promote it because of the language, but we just going to deal with that. We'll take the L on not being able to boost or promote this video, but I am still going to put it out. I'll probably post it on IGTV when we're done. The reason why this is a perfect topic for right now, because I actually was just on, while I was eating dinner, I was browsing Twitter, and someone that I follow, I think is one of the basketball writers that I follow, he had liked and retweeted some tweet by some guy that I believe is a football player, and he had liked and retweeted something by, I believe, maybe his son, the way he was talking. I think it might have been his son. And the son was telling this story. I don't know where this happened at, but anyway, this is what happened. The son is telling this story how him and his friends, and the kid is black. So it's a black kid. He said he and his friends, so we're just assuming that they were all black. They went to a drive-through restaurant, and they wanted to get some food, but they didn't have a car, so they were walking. So they walked up to a car that was in the drive-thru and said, yo, can you get us some food? We'll give you the money. And there was a white woman and the white woman said, no, I can't. I'm busy. She basically turned them down, said she can't do it. So then they gave the money. The next person who was in the next car was a young white dude. And they gave the white dude the money and he took it. And he said, yeah, I'll get you your food. So he did. He got them their food and there was no problem. But when the white woman got up to the window, she rolled down the window and she started using the N-word at these black kids. And then she told the manager that she got harassed by the black kids. The manager comped her food. He gave her food free. How the kids noticed, I don't know. And then when the woman drove off, she used the N-word a few more times, and then she drove off, and it was over. So anyway, that was the whole story. That's the whole thing that happened. How I know this is because this kid, he seemed like a millennial, maybe 19, 20, 21 years old, maybe younger than that. He posted this story on his Twitter. You know how you write it in the notes app and then you take screenshots and you post it as a photo. So I went and read through it and I said, why is this a story? Why is he even telling this story? Either they're trying to get the Whataburger shut down so everybody can go and beat up the Whataburger, or shut down the company and make Whataburger force an apology out of Whataburger, which I'm guaranteeing is coming within the next 24 hours. I don't know if I'm going to stay up on the story, but I guarantee that apology is coming. We probably can't identify the white woman who used the N-word. And then I'm looking at the replies to this post because it went viral a little bit because the people who were retweeting it are very well-known people. And I'm reading through the comments. I'm expecting to see certain type of replies to this, but I'm seeing the same type of reply all the way through. You know what I was seeing? I was seeing a whole lot of people saying, man, that was terrible. What Whataburger was that? Let's tell us the location so we can call it and we can demand that the manager give you an apology. You know, somebody's probably telling them Whataburger got to get them free burgers and free food for a year to make up for it and show that they stand with black people. And people said, man, racism is so terrible in this country. And the guy's father, who had actually retweeted the tweet, he's the one who helped amplify it. He was like, well, actually, no, that person didn't let you down, son. I let you down because I didn't really let you know what it means to be black in this country and the way that they see you and all these things that he was saying. And everyone in the comments was saying the same thing. And this is a whole bunch of people in the comment section saying all these same things. And I'm like, this is the bitch assness that we have become these days. This is where we're at right now. That a story that somebody tells a black person about a white person saying something to you that you didn't like. They used the N-word against you, which is like, listen, that woman had been found out. Her life would be complete. Everything would be canceled if they found out who that woman was. But anyway, this is the guy told the story. And the thing is this, if that had happened to me, I would be annoyed too. I might be pissed off. I'll probably be different from annoyed or pissed off because I probably would have did something. I probably would have ran up on that woman's car and done something that I probably should not have done. But that's just me. And I'm probably from a different era from this kid. And he looked like he seemed like he was pretty young, at least from his profile picture and the way he was telling the story. Because I know the people that I know in the era that I come from, that wouldn't have just been a story to tell and let everybody feel sympathy for me. It would have been, we did something and then something happened after that, and then it'd be the bigger story. But the whole point that I'm thinking of listening to this, I'm like, or reading this, I'm like, this is where we're at now. People can just complain about somebody said something nasty to them and somebody people feel sorry for them. And they tell the story because they know people are going to feel sorry and they're going to get a whole lot of sympathy from the crowd. And all I was seeing was sympathy posts all the way through. Everybody was giving sympathy. I was like, it got to be at least one person in here who says, yo, all that happened is somebody said something nasty to you and then they drove off. That's all that happened. The woman said something nasty. She used the N-word, was maybe the worst thing that this kid could hear. And then she drove off. That's all. That's it. No cops came. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got threatened. You still got your Whataburger food. You didn't even have a card. The dude got you your food for you. And that was it. And you're telling this story. And this is the word I use, bitch assness that we are living in right now. And unfortunately, a lot of it's coming from our side. A lot of it's coming from people of our color. Tell this story about how somebody did us wrong, and then we just wait for the sympathy. Now, if you took an action and you're like, all right, this is what I need to happen. This is what we need to do because this person did this wrong. Here's the action that we're going to take. Here's how we're going to change this, or how we're going to fix it, and how we get our restitution for whoever did something they wasn't supposed to do. I get that. Like, listen, I read the story that the guy who got shot in Atlanta at the Wendy's the other day, the cop got hit with a federal murder charge. Now he got hit with a federal murder charge. That's what a lot of people were asking for. That he should have got that murder, not federal, but felony murder charge. Now, it's just a charge. He still got to go to court, and they still have to get a conviction for anything to actually stick. But he will have to spend some time sitting in jail probably, and he may not get bail. Same thing with the Minnesota guys. They still got to go to court, and we'll see what happens in court. So the charge itself doesn't mean much, except some inconvenience, at least for the short term. It depends on what actually happens in the court case. But anyway, the whole topic here today is stop whining, bitch. And that's for everybody out here. I don't care what color you are, what has happened to you, where you're from, who you're dealing with, that when things occur in your life, if it's not a tangible, even if it is a tangible situation, something actually happened. Let's say that woman got out of the car and just beat those kids up. How she could do that, I don't know. Let's just say something like that happened. If you're allowed to talk about it, all right, it's not your position to just go whine about it or tell everybody the story so you can get sympathy on social media. Like, I know that's the wave right now. I know it will actually work. I know it can make you, maybe get you famous if that's what you're looking for, and get you a huge dopamine rush when you get all the replies and the whatever from everybody. And maybe you'll get some free food from Whataburger. I think this kid's gonna probably get free food for a year from Whataburger once the story goes viral, because it probably will. But we got to be built a little bit stronger than that. We got to be built a little bit stronger than whining and bitching just because something didn't go our way, or something even went the opposite of our way, or even when somebody does something that we didn't like that goes against us. And that's what the topic here is today. Point number one is this: everything that happens in your life happens not to you, but because of you. Yes, you heard me correctly. Everything that happens not to you, but because of you. Now, let me be clear what I mean when I say this. Does that mean if you're walking down the street and a car jumps the curb and hits you and you got a broken leg, is that because of you? Is it my fault that the car jumped the curb and hit me and broke my leg? No. It's not your fault that the driver did what they did. But now that you know that it's happened, and now that you're in the situation, as long as you're putting all the blame and all the fault on the perpetrator or whoever did the wrong thing, as long as you're allowed to be thinking about it, you must take ownership of the situation. Okay, it's not my fault that the driver hit me, and maybe they were drunk, maybe they were texting and drunk at the same time and not paying attention, and they did everything wrong. I did nothing wrong, they did everything wrong, and it's all facts. Now you must take ownership of the situation. All right, you got to let go of the fact that it's their fault. All right, they probably gonna go to court, and hopefully you can sue them. Hopefully they got insurance and you get some money at least to help you out in some way. But then you got to take ownership of it. This is the thing that you need to keep in mind. If you want to be a leader in life, if you want to be a person of power, it might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. I'm gonna say that one more time. I want you to burn this statement into your mind. If you don't want to be a bitch ass man or a bitch ass woman complaining every time something doesn't go your way, because things in life will not go your way. If you live long enough, a whole lot of things will not go your way. All right, whatever you think's not going your way now, just wait. All right, next year something else is not going to go your way. It may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. The reason why that statement is so important, if you're going to take a position of ownership in your life, just in your life in general, I'm not talking about business, I'm talking about life, is because things are always going to happen. And if you don't want to take responsibility, you want to place blame and fault on another party or the other person or the white woman who said the N-word to you as she drove out of the Whataburger drive-thru. The problem with that is you can't do anything about it if it's somebody else's fault. If it's somebody else's responsibility that let's say that guy took their money and said, I'll get you some drive-thru, and he just drove off and took their $20. All right, it ain't your fault. He did steal your money, but it is your responsibility to maybe don't do that again next time. Maybe go get yourself a car. Maybe order Uber Eats. Somebody Uber Eats can come get you Whataburger. I don't know why they had to ask somebody at the drive-thru. Maybe go chase down the car, beat the dude up for trying to steal your money. Whatever you need to do, but it may not be your fault. Whatever happened, whatever somebody said, whatever somebody did, but you must take ownership of it. This is why when the George Floyd thing blew up 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, one of the first things that I posted, and that was damn near 3 weeks ago, one of the first things I posted was, we are not victims. That I don't like the victim mentality that a whole lot of people decided to step into, especially people of color, when that whole thing happened. And now we're just getting more and more victim stories. Every day there's a new story of somebody telling the narrative of how they were a victim of some kind of racism or some type of systemic this or white privilege that, and they're sharing it on social media, not because they want anything to actually happen, but because they just want to get sympathy for it, because they know it's going to make them look good and it's perfect timing to get sympathy from everybody. And where are we going with this? And this is the same question I've been asking every time that I brought this up. Where are we going? What's the outcome of this? What's the outcome of whining like a bitch because something didn't go your way? I want to know what's the result. If anybody knows what the result is, if there's a positive to be gained from it, let me know. If there's something tangible I can gain from it, maybe I'll start whining like a bitch too, and I can get sympathy for my problems. Because I got plenty that I can share. But if nobody has an answer to that, then we need a better plan. Everything that happens not to you, but because of you. And as soon as you accept that it happens because of you, that means you had the power to do something about it. Point number two. Topic here today is stop whining, bitch. Number 2, always ask what you can do about things, not why it's bad for you. It will be a good piece of advice for the kid that posted that post on Twitter. When something happens in your life that isn't what you want, or it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, or somebody just does something that you wasn't even asking them to do anything towards you, but then they do something and interject themselves into your life and put you in a worse situation than you were in 5 minutes ago. Instead of talking about why the thing is bad or complaining about it, or trying to start up a firestorm, or whatever people's goal is these days when they're sharing their sob stories on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and instead ask yourself this question: what can I do about this situation? What can I actually do? And when I say what can I do, what I mean is, what action can I take right now that can maybe alleviate some of the pain or the burden or the discomfort that I'm feeling about this situation right now? What is something tangible that I can do that will not only alleviate the discomfort, but also put me in a better space than I was in 2 minutes ago? That's the question that you got to start asking. That's an open-ended question. It's the kind of question that I talk about in my book called Ask Yourself a Better Question. You didn't know I had a book called Ask Yourself a Better Question? I do. You can get it at workonmygang.com/ASK for ask. But that kind of question is an empowering question. You know what an empowering question is? It's the kind of question that when you ask yourself the question, the only way you can answer it is to tell yourself some actions that you can take that would actually help your situation. That's an empowering question. The problem for many people, every color, at any time, not just now, but at any time in life, is people always ask themselves disempowering questions, such as, let me tell you some disempowering questions that people ask themselves. Why is this so bad for me? Why does this always happen to me? Why are these people taking advantage of me? Why am I being protested against? Why am I being protested for? Why are the cops always killing us? Even though some of these things are not even actually true, but you know how people say these things. Something happens to them and they're like, it always happens, right? You forget your car keys. You're like, man, I'm always forgetting my car keys. All right, somebody bothers you at work. Some people are always bothering me at work. Everybody's bothering me, even though it was only 2 people. One person 3 weeks ago and one person yesterday. But you make it seem like it's always happening. These are disempowering statements and disempowering questions. And even though some people may say it's just words, just like I said, the woman said the N-word to this kid and he made a big deal about it. You could say that it's just words, but the thing is this. Every time you repeat a thought to yourself, or you say something out loud to yourself, or even if you feel the energy to yourself, you are reinforcing that thought. You're reinforcing the energy. You're reinforcing the process that went behind that thought. And when you reinforce disempowering language in your own mind, you are weakening yourself every single time you do it. Every single time if somebody tells you something negative about you and you keep repeating it in your own mind, what that person said, that hater or that negative person or that asshole said about you, and you keep repeating it in your own mind, then that person is, as the saying goes, they're living rent-free in your head because you're repeating their words back to you over and over and over again. They said something to you, took 10 seconds. You've been saying it to yourself over and over again for 10 weeks. Now they taking over your thought process. You could just as easily, because this is how the subconscious mind works. You tell yourself anything often enough, you're going to start believing it and you're going to start living it out and you're going to act on it. And this works the exact same way in the other direction. You could put positive stuff in your mind. You could tell yourself empowering things. Start inserting some empowering frameworks and questions in your mind so that when things happen in your life, and things will happen, good and bad and neutral, and you can color them whatever way you want. Things that happen are neutral. You make them good or bad. When things happen, when you have the right empowering language already embedded in your subconscious, you will immediately ask yourself the right kind of questions. So when something like that happens, let's say you go to the store, you go to the Whataburger, and somebody says the N-word at you, if you happen to be a person of color, or you're white, and somebody says something to you that you just really, really don't like. Instead of asking yourself, how terrible is this? Why are people so bad? Why did that person have to say this to me? How can I get sympathy for the situation? None of those do anything for you. Instead, ask yourself, how can I take what just happened and make use of it in a tangible way that actually puts me in a better spot, that puts me in a position of power, that makes me even stronger so that the next time something like this happens, I'm ready to deal with it even better than I was ready to deal with it this time. Those are empowering questions. They're open-ended, empowering questions that most people do not use in their lives because for whatever reason, like y'all can have your own theories as to why this is happening, but a lot of people seem to be conditioned to just bitch about things that are happening in their lives as if bitching about it is going to make it better. Last time I checked, bitching about things don't make them better. I mean, again, unless you consider getting sympathy from the crowd making something better. I mean, sympathy, I guess it feels good. It gives you there's some chemicals in the body that you feel when other people show you sympathy. But in the end, when it's all over, sympathy, it feels good while you're getting it. But when it's done, I mean, what do you actually have? You don't have any. You're still in the same spot. All right, everybody feels sorry for you, but you're still in the same position. All right, so sympathy is kind of like masturbation. All right, it feels good while it's going on, but as soon as it's done, all right, you're just sitting there like, all right, now what? All right, now the game's over. Now what do you actually do? What do you actually have? What has actually changed? You can't answer that question, you got a problem. Point number 3. Topic here today is stop whining, bitch. Never complain unless you are complaining to charge yourself up to go do something and make things change. I'll say it again. Never complain unless you are complaining to actually put a plan together. I should add that in. Put a plan together and execute it to actually create a change and actually do something different. But if there's no plan and you're complaining, then what's the point? I mean, a lot of energy is going to get used. Maybe if you complain loud enough and long enough, and if there's enough people complaining, you might draw a whole lot of attention, and you may get people to, again, do what they got to do in a moment for self-preservation. Like we're seeing a lot of corporations, a lot of CEOs, and a lot of white people, frankly, say what they got to say right now to save their asses, because they know if they say the wrong thing, they're going to be in trouble, or they say nothing, they're going to be in trouble. So everybody's doing what they got to do right now because there's a lot of noise right now. But what's going to actually come out of all the complaining? And I'm not just talking about right now, I'm talking about anytime. Because everybody who's listening to me right now, you probably had some moments in your life when you were complaining. All right, what does complaining actually do for you? That's a real question. What does complaining actually do for you? It gets you to, maybe it'll let you vent. Maybe you can complain just to vent and get out of your head whatever is on your mind. You just need to say it out loud. So if you need to talk to a therapist, you need to talk to your dog. Maybe you're in the house talking to yourself. Maybe you get on Instagram Live or Facebook and you talk to your audience, whoever your audience may be. Maybe you turn on the camera app on your phone and you just talk to yourself. Whatever you need to do. Maybe you write in a journal or a diary and just to vent and complain about what's going on. But when the complaining is done, now there needs to be some action. Because see, complaining is energy. And energy is 85% of the job in life, ladies and gentlemen. You want to make things happen in life, you need energy. You have no energy, I don't care how much resources you got, how smart you are, even if you had a perfect plan, with no energy, you can't do anything with it. So complaining is energy. So when you feel yourself complaining about something, that means there's a problem that needs to be solved. Complaining is a problem that needs to be solved. So take that energy that you would spend just talking about it and complaining about it and ask yourself, all right, how can I use this energy to alter this situation so that I don't need to complain about it again? So if this situation is to try to repeat itself, it doesn't happen the same way again. That's the only useful thing you can get out of complaining. Otherwise you're complaining just to make noise, just to get people's sympathy or just to draw attention to yourself. It might work. Listen, in the culture we're in, the climate we're in right now, it absolutely will work. Any of you got a complaint, especially something that a white person did to you and you black, listen, post it on social media, you're going to blow up. Or you might be the biggest influencer in the world by tomorrow if the story is sympathetic enough. All right, and I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but I'm also being serious because I'm seeing it happen every single day. Y'all on social media, y'all see it. But the purpose of complaining is only to get yourself fired up and subsequently sufficiently engaged energetically to go do something. All right, and in the end of everything, what matters in your life, like as I say all the time, what they're gonna write on your tombstone is not what you complained about and not what people did wrong to you, but what you actually accomplished. And if you didn't accomplish nothing, your tombstone's gonna be blank. It's just gonna have the year you was born and the year you died and your name, and that's pretty much it. People lay some flowers on it. But if you want there to be something on there, you want your story to be a story, you want your life to be a story that people got to tell, like, yo, let me tell you about this guy. He passed away, but let me tell you about his story. Let me tell you what she did. Let me tell you what this person accomplished. Then, all right, you got to go actually do some stuff. Complaining, they ain't going to put that in your obituary. What you complained about is not going to be in your life story. All right, y'all saw the Michael Jordan doc a month or two ago. What was it all about? This is about what he did. Not what he thought about, not what he complained about, what he actually achieved. And the people who had a lot of complaints, but they didn't use that energy to achieve, all right, they don't get to tell no story because it ain't no story to tell. So let's recap these points. I'm going to tell you about these two books right here. This one right here will help you with the complaining habit if any of you got that problem, and I know some of y'all got it. But anyway, the topic is stop whining, bitch. Point number 1, everything that happens in life happens because of you. It does not happen to you. And that is a metaphorical way of looking at things in life as a philosophy. It doesn't mean it's your fault if it rains outside. What it means is you take ownership of everything that occurs in your life. And when you take ownership, you have responsibility. When you have responsibility, you have the ability to change it. If you don't have the ability to respond, then you can't respond. And then you're just stuck with whatever life hands you. And that's not a good place to be. Point number 2, always ask what you can do about things, not why things are bad for you. So instead of complaining and giving yourself disempowering language, ask yourself empowering questions like, what can I do about this situation to put myself in a better space instead of bitching about it and staying in the space that I'm at? And point number 3, never complain about something unless it is charging you up to make change happen. That's the only point of complaining. It creates energy. A complaint is energy. You are recognizing a problem and you have a problem with that problem, which is a good thing. Now, whether it becomes useful or not depends on what you do next. Do you just keep complaining about it, or do you come up with a plan of action and then actually work that plan of action? We'll see. Now, these 2 books that I got here in front of me, this one here is called The Mirror of Motivation. It's the self-guide, the self-discipline. I'll tell you right now, I made this book free because I want everybody to have it in their hands. As I told you, I've written 26 books. So people would always ask me, well, Dre, which book should I read first? So I made this book free to make it very easy for you to make a decision. And I'm telling you, this is the one you should read first. This is for anybody. I don't care what you're doing in life. This is the book you should read first. The reason that this book exists is for anyone out there. I don't know if it's you, but if this is for you, type of person who's ready to step out of the old version of you, who might have been doing some bitch assness, some complaining, some not doing anything, doing a whole lot of whining about your situation, but not actually taking any action. But you're ready to step into action. You're ready to step into a new version of you. You're ready to step into a new presence, a new energy, and you're ready to start seeing yourself differently when you look in the mirror. That's why it's called the mirror motivation. When you see you differently, everybody else sees you differently. And when people see you differently, they respond to you differently, and everything in your life starts to change with a change in who you are being as a person. Notice I didn't say anything about the actions that you take. When you change who you are being, everything else will take care of itself. This book will help you with that. Again, it's called The Mirror of Motivation. You can get this book at mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already free. It's paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping, mirrorofmotivation.com. This book right here is called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint, Self-Guide, Self-Discipline. I wrote this book for anyone who wants to play professional basketball overseas, even if you've been overlooked, underrated, nobody knows who you are, you haven't never really gotten a chance at ball, but you think you had a talent to play pro, go to balloverseas.com. The book is already paid for. You take care of the shipping, 237-page book. Best job in the world being a professional athlete. Those are the 2 books. Again, mirrorofmotivation.com, balloverseas.com. If we got any questions, I will address them now. I think I saw a couple. I don't know if they were questions or not. So let's see. Question is, what are the pros and cons of using audiobooks instead of hard copy books? Well, with an audiobook, you don't have a physical copy, so you don't have to carry it around. An audiobook is much lighter. All it takes up is the weight of your phone. But you can't highlight an audiobook. Mondi says, I'm going into a freshman year. I want to average 12 or more points. Any tips? Go to hoophandbook.com and work on your game. Lord GBA, what's going on? Lord GBA said, this is like a live class. That's a fact. Yes, it is. It's a live class every single day. That's why you see the link at the bottom, don't you, Lord GBA? Work on your game university. This is not like a live class. It is a live class. Let's see. Stephen Adeyemi, what's going on? Yeah, I think I got everything. I got everything. So this book right here is called Work on Your Game, Using the Pro Athlete Mindset to Dominate Gaming, Business, Sports, and Life. Took the best 250 pages of my whole philosophy. Oh, Aaron over on Facebook was good. Best 250 pages of my philosophy right here. You get this book at workonyourgamebook.com. Workonyourgamebook.com, along with $1,200 in immediate digital bonuses. So while you wait for the book to ship and arrive at your house or wherever you're at, P.O. Box, wherever you're getting it shipped to, you get the digital bonuses right now. Again, hardcover, workonyourgamebook.com. Who already said, I play offense, not worried about defense. That's what's up. That's the mentality. I talked about that a couple weeks ago. Playing offense, not defense. And then Work on Your Game University, for everybody who doesn't know. If you like these classes that I'm mostly doing off the top, imagine if you go to Work on Your Game University and I got a plan for everything I'm going to talk about. So I can do these off the top because I got years of experience. I just jot down a couple notes and just go. But every single day, I put out a master class called Work on Your Game. Every day the topic is different, just like I do right here, but it's in more detail. I give you more depth. I give you more examples, and I give you more actionable what you actually do with that information. That's at Work on Your Game University. And your first 2 weeks in the university, free. So college is charging how much tuition? I'm gonna give you your first 2 weeks for free. All right, ain't no college giving you school for free. Or someone giving you online classes, but I'm giving you the whole experience completely for free. Work on your game university. Your first 2 weeks are on me. If you want to stay in the university, then it's $27 a month. You want to leave the university, you can go ahead and try your luck with, I don't know, a Facebook philosopher. Everybody have a great day. I have to go live again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Work on your game. We out here. Dre all day.